Okay, let's start looking at these markets. Welcome to the weekly preparation video, and here we are with the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is the most interesting indice out there at the moment. We have a new high close under there, having just got underneath that magic 4,000 number. Look at the strength in that weekly. Now, if we cross to the Russell, the mid-cap, the smaller companies in the US markets, you can see nasty sellers bar on Friday. We touched 50% at the high of the week on Friday and then closed underneath it. Look at the Dow. That is a hangman on the daily underneath the 50 EMA on the daily and underneath that fibs level. So a quick look across the other indices and you'll see that Nikkei engulfed Thursday's action. The DAX ran up above 93 and closed under 91.50, and the FTSE big topping tail on the daily, although we are sitting above the 50% and we engulfed the previous week's bar. So mixed signals, but overall what interests me is the way in which the Dow and the Russell closed on Friday, so I am more bearish, but as usual I'm going to wait till Monday's close. I've got an amazing watch list building up for stocks. I'm going to save the stocks video until Monday. We just want to refine my scan specification and then drop you a line on the stocks video for those who are in the stock club, by the way. If you want to join that, then let me know. Right, Forex. Data coming up this week. We've got very quiet start to the week, and we've got UK inflation on Tuesday. UK Bank of England votes on Wednesday, which could be really critical. Any slight change in that could see a big leap to the upside in the pound. And FOMC on Wednesday, so I think we could US markets could be a little quiet until we get the FOMC out of the way on Wednesday. But the reason why the markets closed weak on Friday was because of very weak consumer confidence and some other data was weak. So I've momentarily forgotten what it was, so I'll come back to you on that. Anyway, here's the pound US dollar. So all this selling. We haven't had a blue bar in a higher close in the weekly since the end of June. So here we are sitting on this massive support level just under 167. So I think if we've got a hammer-like bar in that daily, and it's typical in hammers like this to pull back into the hammer before they actually trigger. And I would give them a maximum of 2 days before I start giving up on the hammer. So on Monday, if we close higher than 167, I'm bullish the pound. Same goes for the pound yen. Slightly more bearish in that we've closed underneath the fib level and underneath and engulfed Thursday's bar. But if we close above 171, I'm bullish. Break 170.45, and I think that will come tumbling down to, over a period of time, days, possibly not weeks, to 168 on that one. Euro, I've not been touching this, but it's increasingly looking like a nice rounded bottom. Looking as if that wants to go and retest 135, only 134, and the euro yen is closing higher, holding that 50 MA on the weekly chart on the left. Other charts to note, I think we may start to see some strength in the CAD, and I think the best way to trade the CAD would be to short the Aussie CAD. Again, these look like hangman bars to me. We're struggling. We keep coming down to 101.30, just about closing above it, but not convincingly. So keep an eye on that one. Close under 101.20, and that's toast. Let's look at the very quickly on the US dollar yen. Holding above this wedge on the weekly, struggling on the daily. A retest of 102 might see that push higher. US dollar CAD, weak. So again, seeing some strength in the CAD here, and I think we could see a retest of some of these lower levels, 108.30, at which point I would consider buying and holding on that, but I will report back on that later. Otherwise, I'm not touching it right now. Quick look at a couple of other commodities. Oil, we talked about coming down to 95. So very, very weak. Incredible incidence of high frequency trading Friday. The pits closed, and within minutes of the pits closing, we dropped 215 points. Incredible. High frequency trading is increasingly causing day traders a lot of problems. I wasn't around at that time, so I don't know if that was news, but high frequency trading is basically very directional trend algorithmic trading triggered by computers, not discretionary traders, but it is very furious and fast, and often means you don't see the big move coming unless you are very focused and very concentrated on a particular market. Well, the one market that's really got me interested, I think this corn is a buy. I'm going to risk getting in at 355 if I can. I'm going to, with a stop under 345 to see if the corn can push up. I'm going to leave wheat and soybeans alone and just concentrate on the corn for now. Gold is all over the place. I would steer clear at this stage. I would suggest that could roll over, but Monday's close will be telling. I will just give you one stock one here. No, I won't. I'm gonna save that. But I do think the fact that I've got this box here, we closed out of it on Thursday and back in it on Friday. But I'm going to stand fast and wait until that finishes. So overall, I think the Nadaq is defying gravity. Nadaq and Nadaq stocks in particular are very, very strong, but other indices are very weak, and the Dow to me looks as if that's too heavy at these levels and will come lower. And we just need to give the pound a little bit of time. I think the pound's going to be by far the most interesting currency pair this week, and there's the pound Aussie dollar just for an extra measure. You can see on the weekly chart on the left we are sitting with a seller's bar, but right on that 50%. And we're under the trend line, so I'm not interested in the pound Aussie at the moment. I'm just waiting to see what that pound US can do. Alright, I do hope that helps, and I will do a very comprehensive stock club video on Monday. Enjoy what's left of your weekend, and see you at Traders Roundtable.